for a moment until she maximizes.
I thought it was going, sorry.
It says we are now streaming live on Facebook.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mazel tov. Kol hakavod, Debbie.
Thank you. It
Okay.
takes a village.
Right. So we're going to bring up the Mishaberach slide, and I know Adele is going to sing for us today and chant.
Give me a second.
And I'm going to mute everyone. Adele, if you want to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to mute everybody. Maybe I'm going to.
Okay.
All right. Hold on.
I can mute.
I
What
can't.
are you doing on this thing?
Are you
Okay,
seeing
does-
Mishabera?
Wait a minute. It's not letting me mute. Hold on, Deb.
Here.
What are you doing on it?
And that's why we
What
want
do
to
you
mute.
think I'm doing?
I have no idea.
Okay, you want to mute yourself, please? So it's not allowing me to mute everyone. So I would ask all.
You're muted now, Deb.
Okay, for some reason, it's not letting me mute. I guess it worked. Okay, very good.
I did it. I did it.
I don't understand why you can do it and I can't. Okay, Margie, thanks for your help. I love this. Tech support. We're a village. All right, thank you. And Adele,
Are you ready for me?
we are ready for you, Adele. Thank you.
Debbie. Mishabera avotenu mekor abraha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our life a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishabera imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Adele.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just found out the reason I can't mute everyone is I am no longer the host. Margie and Debbie are the hosts, so I'm going to need some help from the two of you. And today, Barbara Kaplan is teaching Psalm 83, and we look forward to that.
Thank you. I'll let you know when it's time to have the slides on screen. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on what time zone you're in. I'm Barbara Kaplan, the Torah Fund Vice President of BQLI. I began tuning into the daily Psalms on April 20th, my father's yahrzeit, and since then, I try to attend every day. I find it to be a moving and educational experience. I said to myself, why not volunteer to discuss a psalm? I attend daily minyan morning services, and when the ritual director is not there, I give a brief Devar Torah, and I'll be giving a Devar Torah on the first Shabbat in September. When Rabbi Ellen asked if I'm available on July 20th and would like to teach Psalm 83, I said to myself, well, Psalm 81 is on Thursdays and Psalm 82 is on Tuesdays, so it must be similar. And the reason I'm familiar with 82 is that I lead it responsively every Tuesday in English. Psalm 83 is the last of the Psalms associated with Asaph, and those include 50 and 73 through 83. Overall, the psalm provides a simple message telling God not to be silent. As your enemies are plotting against your people, they want to wipe them out as a nation. Then all the names of the enemies are listed. The psalm continues with examples of how God protected the people in the past. And God, look what you can do in terms of acts of nature and show that you are supreme over the earth. I find it a coincidence that as I prepared this talk, the double parsha was Matot Maseh. Maseh means travels. It was the concluding parsha of Numbers, and it describes all the stops along the way from Egypt to the threshold of the Promised Land. In addition, it includes significant events at certain stops. For example, they set out on the edge of the land of Edom, and the parsha ends. These are the commandments and regulations that the Lord enjoined upon the Israelites through Moses on the steppes of Moab at the Jordan near Jericho. Though Psalm 83 contains just 19 verses, verses 7 through 12 contain many historical or biblical names of tribes, individuals, and places. Some of them you may have heard of, and some are not familiar. And some of the specific names and situations take place during the time of Judges. The book of Judges follows Joshua, which follows the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. Joshua is the one who led the people to the Promised Land. Joshua died at 110 years old, and in Judges chapter 2, it is written, and that whole generation as well was gathered to its fathers, and another generation arose after them that did not know the Lord or the acts he had done for Israel. It reminds me of the beginning of Exodus, where a new king arose over Egypt and did not know Joseph. The book of Judges includes cycles or rhythm of events, and this has already been mentioned. I'll review it. The Israelites sin as they show disloyalty to God. They worship other gods and idols, and God punishes them by sending an enemy to oppress them. They serve the enemy for a number of years. They cry out to God and pray for forgiveness. God sends a deliverer, a judge, to free them. The judge conquers the army. There's a peaceful reign before the cycle begins again. Robert Alter calls this period of time the Wild West era of biblical story. I will discuss the tribes and people in more detail when we're up to the respective verses of the psalm. Now you can show the slides. A song, a psalm of Asaph. O God, do not be silent. Do not hold aloof. Do not be quiet, O God. And we can see that this verse begins and ends with, O God. There's an exclamation point at the end. And in between the words of, O God, there's repetition of basically the same ideas, commands to God. And each begins with do not. And Alter translates as, O God, no silence for you. Do not be mute and do not be quiet. And verse 2 is associated with Slichot services. God, do not rest, do not be silent, and do not be still, for your enemies clamor. For your enemies rage, your foes assert themselves. And you can see here that enemies and foes are synonyms, and it's repeated. And Alter translates it as, and those that hate, you lift their heads. They plot craftily against your people, take counsel against your treasured ones. Here we see your people are the treasured ones, and Alter calls them your protected ones. So how are they plotting? How are they in touch with each other? Next slide. They say, let us wipe them out as a nation. Israel's name will be mentioned no more. And Alter says, come, let us obliterate them as a nation, and the name of Israel will no longer be recalled. And to me, this line is even relevant to today, where there are nations that do not want Israel to exist, nor recognize the existence of the state of Israel. And there are maps that are produced without the name Israel on it. Unanimous in their council, they have made an alliance against you. And Alter writes, for they conspired with a single heart against you as they sealed a pact. And this reminds me of the Israel War of Independence, the Six-Day War, and the Yom Kippur War, in which Israel is in battle with surrounding countries. And these countries and lands existed at the time this psalm was written. And there are comparisons of ancient maps to modern day maps. Now, verses 7 through 9 will name the tribes and the groups that have made the alliance. The clans of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites. Some of these tribes may be familiar. Edom is descendant of Esau, Jacob's twin brother. The Ishmaelites, descendant of Ishmael, son of Abraham and Hagar, and brother of Isaac. And also the Ishmaelites are mentioned when Joseph's brothers want to sell him into slavery. Hagrites may be ancestors of Hagar, who was Sarah's maidservant and mother Ishmael. Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek, Philistia with the inhabitants of Tyre. We continue to read about these people, for example, in chapter 10 of Judges. And the Israelites once again did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served gods of Moab, the gods of Ammonites, and the gods of the Philistines and Amalek. They pressed you and cried out to me, and I rescued you from their hand. But you served other gods. Therefore, I will no longer rescue you. But the Israelites removed the alien gods, and he could not bear the misery of Israel. Ehud is called upon by God to end an 18-year-long oppression by the king of Moab. Jephthah the judge did battle against the Ammonites. Samson, the last major judge, redeemed the people from the Philistines. Assyria too joins forces with them, and they give support to the sons of Lot, Selah. And regarding the sons of Lot, they are actually the sons of the daughters of Lot and their daughters. And of course, of the names that I mentioned, Amalek is the one that I think most familiar with. And we first read about Amalek in Parsha Beshalach after the Israelites left Egypt. Moses sent Joshua with an army to do battle against Amalek. Meanwhile, Moses stood at the top of the hill with the rod of God in his hand. And as the fighting began, whenever Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. But whenever he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' arms grew heavy, so Aaron and Hur, one on each side, supported Moses' hands until Joshua beat the Amalekites. Then the Lord said to Moses, I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heavens. The Lord will be at war with Amalek throughout the ages. Now we're going to discuss how God dealt with enemies and gives examples. Deal with them as you did with Midian, with Sisera, with Jabin at the brook Kishon, who were destroyed at Endor, who became dung for the field. So these two lines have to deal with the story of the judge Deborah. The Israelites were oppressed for 20 years by Jabin, the king of Canaan. Sisera was the commander of the army, and the Israelites again cried out to the Lord. This was during the time of Deborah, who was referred to as a prophet woman. She was known for sitting under the palm of Deborah, where Israelites would come up to her for judgment. Deborah called for Barak, the army warrior, and his response was, if you go with me, I'll go. If you don't go with me, I won't. But Deborah agrees to accompany Barak, promising him that God will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. Sisera had fled on foot to the tent of Yael. Yael gave Sisera milk instead of water, which made him sleepy. She said to Sisera, turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me. Do not fear. He turned aside to her to the tent, covered him with a blanket, and Yael drove the tent peg with a mallet into Sisera's skull. Chapter 5 of the book of Judges is the Haftorah recited on Shabbat Bashalach. It is the song of Deborah and is related to the Parsha where we recite the song of the seas. And Endor, I think Star Wars fans are familiar with Endor. And also later on, there's a story of the witch at Endor in which Saul disguises himself. Treat their great people like Oreb and Zeb, or their princes like Zebah and Zamuna. So I don't think these are as familiar to you as some of the other names. Chapter 7 and 8 book of the Judges, and the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and he gave them into the hands of Midian for 7 years. Israel was impoverished, and the Israelites cried out to the Lord. So the Lord sent a prophet, a man, Gideon. They took the two Midianite commanders, Oreb and Zeb. They killed Oreb at the rock of Oreb, and Zeb they killed in the winepress of Zeb. Gideon rose and killed Zebah and Zamuna, Midianite kings. Oh, I think who said, let's take the meadows of God as our possession. Oh my God, make them like thistledown, like stubble driven by the wind. As a fire burns, a forest, as flames scorch the hills. And here we see fire and flames. Again, emphasis is placed on it. Pursue them with your tempest, terrify them with your storm. Again, tempest is a synonym for storm. And also, we'll go to the next slide. Cover their faces with shame so that they seek your name, O Lord. May they be frustrated and terrified, disgraced and doomed forever. May they know that your name, yours alone, is the Lord supreme over the earth. And let the word, including enemy nations, see the truth about God's existence and his unlimited power over the world. God will rescue its people even in the most difficult situations. I conducted research, and the main source I use is Ancient Israel by Robert Alter. I own this book as we used it when we studied Kings. I also read about the Judges on myjewishlearning.com. So this was a wonderful experience. As you can see, there was more research than other Psalms. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Barbara. That was lovely. And I know it's your first time to teach, so we congratulate you. That's wonderful. We hope you'll share with us again soon. Thank you. So today, Rusty is reading our Kaddish list. And Rusty, are you
Yes.
there? Okay, I
I'm
see
here.
you. Okay, great. So Deb, can you put up the slide? And I know that Rusty's going to read, and Toby, I wonder if you would lead us in Mornis Kaddish after Rusty reads the list.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Toby. And I just want to say that if you are saying Mornis Kaddish for someone that you love and you would like to lead it, please let me know in the personal chat, and we can arrange for that soon. Thank you. Okay, Rusty, thank you.
Please forgive any mispronunciations. Today we honor Evelyn Seelig, Sue Press, Leona Elligberg, First Sergeant Amit Ben Yigal, Jesus Belina, David Copeland, Louis Hoser, Ivan Stanton, Julie Wynn, Louis Berlin, Hilda Stern, Sylvia Kraus, Hope Dellen, Jack Hanowitz, Lillian Benjamin, Cy Kane, Ava Fields, Mina Asserson, Marty Evans, Richard Marhit, Lillian Rappaport, Eden Rich, Edan Ronan Greenstein, Susan Berman Levine, Avraham Ben Hirsch Lieb, Lillian Tobias, Alicia Nemsura, Helen Goldberg, Mark Schwartz, Dr. J. Marlin, Linda Hornick, Rabbi Sigma Faye Koren, Donna Spector, Alan Feldman, Samuel Ben Chaim, Andrew Curtez, Rabbi Ben Roseman, Hannah Rich, Stephen Lazarus, Moisha Miller, Stephen Carlin, Dolores Megan, Richard Marek, Doris Kaufman Shaman, Moshe Eliezer, Phyllis Haas, Thornton Saferstein, Dr. Merrill Goldman, Ruth Simons, Moshe Shraga HaKohen Ben Bacha Mina, Herb Lubars, Rita Rifkin Libman, Julie Horwich, Georgia Young, Allison Stopel Weaver, Herman Heinitz, Harold I. Abramson, Faye Grossman, Pinchas Bon Avraham, Judy Berger, Madeline Saul, Peter Letterman, Vera Gittin, Rabbi Micah Kaplan, Jack Fisher, Russell Bay, Nissan Yisrael Ben Yaakov Aryeh, Sarah Bat Avraham, Raymond Raskin, Staff Sergeant Adiel Fischler, Rabbi Jonathan Brown, Raymond Sassoon, Herb Rosenzweig, Nachman Ben Leah, Devorah Bat Albert Miller, Ruth Wolf, Debbie Wilk, Joan Sitfer, Hannah Bat Shimon Vikarlin, Helen Rose, Leah Barker, May their memories be a blessing.
There's a few others that have been put into the chat. Iris Jaffe, David B. Adler, Howard Dellin. That's it. If you're saying Kaddish or it's your custom, please rise.
I can't get up my.
Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemay Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Kirite, Biamlich, Malkute, B'chayimon, Uv'yomechon, Uv'chaye, Kol Beit Israel, Ba'agala, Uv'izman, Kari, V'yemru, Amen. Yehei, Mei, Haba, Barak, Le'olam, Olamei, Amayim, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitbar, Yitrama, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yithaleh, Yithala, Shnei, Rishah, Rehu, Ba'elah, Min Kol, B'chata, Shirata, Tushbechata, Nechemata, Ta'amira, Yalma, Yemru, Amen. Yehei, Mama, Min Shemaya, B'chayim, Alinu, Yalkol, Israel, Yemru, Amen. Oseh,
Shalom.
Rama, Uyase, Shalom, Aleinu, Yalkol, Israel, Yemru, Amen.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, everyone.
Amen. So I want to thank everyone for participation. And again, you know, today was Barbara's first time. If you're interested in teaching or you're interested in singing or reading your Kaddish list, we'd love to have you join us and take a step forward, be courageous. It's a wonderful community. I want to wish everyone a cool, safe day and hope you all stay well. Thank you for being with us. And I don't know, anybody have anything they want to offer or say? It's
Just
We're
thank
here.
you. Thank you.
thank
I
you
look
again.
forward every
Thank you,
day.
Debbie.
Every day.
Thank you, Debbie. And
Thank
thank
you.
everybody who participated today.
Thank you very much. It's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Cool.
Nice to
It's
see
wonderful.
everybody. Have a good day. Stay
You too,
safe.
Ann. Glad you're joining us.
Day.
Have a good day.
And
Bye.